Hello friends, it is Stacia and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting announcement. I'm actually so excited for this. So as you can tell by the title of the video, Back to Kindle is back. We skipped our month-long version back in June, I believe is usually when it is. Life was just really busy. Rylan and I could not commit to it at all. But we are back with our 2-week round in December. So if you're new here and you have no idea what Back to Kindle Readathon is, it is an ebook focused readathon. Common question, do you need a Kindle? No, we just liked the name Back to Kindle. You could have any sort of e-reader device or no device at all and just read on like your iPad or your phone or anything like that, as long as we are reading ebooks. So that's the main thing for this readathon, is that only ebooks will count, but it does count if you have the ebook but also rent the audiobook, that sort of thing. But as long as you are at some point reading the ebook version as well, it will count. So that is basically the gist. Like I mentioned, this is a 2-week long round and it runs from December 1st to December 14th, which I think is perfect because we start on a Sunday and end on a Saturday. So it's glorious. So every single round we try to do something different. We've done bingo boards, we've done like tiers, we've done a bunch of different stuff. So this round will be a game board. So this is our 2024 round 6 game board, and I really love it. So basically all you need to play is this board, 1 6-sided dice, and then like a little something to keep your place. Obviously you could just remember where you end up at, or you can look at, like if you write them down, you can look at which prompt you finished last. And then as for a die, you can obviously use one online as well if you don't have a physical one. So you're going to start at start, roll your dice, and whatever prompt you land on is the prompt that you will be completing. In this board, there are 3 different points that you can get. So there are prompts that are for 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point. Every single ebook you read is automatically worth 1 point. So if you read an ebook for some reason, like it's an ARC or something that you're just wanting to read but it doesn't match the prompt that you have landed on, then you can still submit it, and then that could just be for 1 point basically, or yeah, just for 1 point. And then anything, if you land on a prompt, will be added into that 1 point. So for our 1 point categories, there's a few. There is one that is the 4 or the 3 corners, and those are all worth 1 point. 2 of them are your choice, so basically anything you want to read, and then 1 is a host pick. For the host pick, this is basically in the Discord. You can put in a little poll thing or ask Rylan and I, depending on whose team you're on. You can ask Rylan and I which book you think you should read, and we will pick one, and that will be for host pick. Let me backtrack a little bit. In our 2-week round, usually to make it a little bit more fun, we do make it competition based within teams. So when you sign up, you'll be asked if you have a preference. Most people don't. I just ask in case you and a friend are both signing up for the readathon and want to be on either the same or opposite teams. That's the only reason why that question is there. You don't need to actually have a preference. But when you sign up, you will be assigned a team to either Team Rylan or Team Stacia as a team. If you guys feel like changing the name, totally possible to do that. But as for now, it's usually Team Rylan and Team Stacia, and we will be going head to head to see who will get the most points, read the most pages, anything like that. Teams, we try our very best to make them as evenly distributed as possible. So there is that. I will say, it is highly encouraged for you to join the Discord, because the Discord is where you can kind of get in touch with the rest of your team. And that is probably the main point in being on a team, is so that you can have that sort of community, and we only create those channels on Discord. But the Discord and the registration sheet will both be linked down below in our Google Drive. Everything I say will be in the Google Drive down below. But anyways, that is the first way you can make 1 point, is from those corner spaces. The next way is on the board there are 4 opportunities where it is more of an activity rather than an actual reading prompt. So the first one is take a walk / get fresh air. Pretty self-explanatory there. The second one is read on sprints. That could be live sprints, that could be Discord sprints. You can run sprints with your own friends, it doesn't really matter. Just sprint with people. The next one is share a post on social media. So that could be a currently reading, it could be a book review for a book that you've read. As long as you are saying that it's for back to Kindle, that will count. And then the last one is read in the dark, which should be fairly simple considering we will be reading ebooks. So that is the second way to get 1 point. And then the last thing that is worth 1 point each would be the prompts that are worth 1 point. So I'll run through these really quick. I'm not going to give too much of an explanation. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. If I feel like you guys need a little bit of a further explanation, I'll give you a couple sentences, but nothing too extravagant. So the first one is less than 400 pages. Then we have a backlist TBR. Then we have comfort genre, holiday vibes. This could be any sort of winter holiday, not necessarily Christmas. Then we have a novella. Then we have a book under 300 pages, 2024 release, most anticipated. Most anticipated doesn't need to be a new release. It could just be a book that you are very excited to read. Then we have favorite trope, own book, multiple POV, and inclusive rep. Inclusive rep is the umbrella for everything. It could be LGBT, it could be BIPOC, it could be inclusive disability rep, anything like that counts. It could be a side character, main character, author, any of that counts. The next points would be 2 points, and so I'll go through those pretty quick. These will all be reading prompts. So the first one is borrowed book, favorite color on the cover. You can pick how much or how little you want of that color on the cover. Next we have a poll pick. Poll pick would be when you pick at least 3 books, put them in a poll on either social media story or, like I said, on Discord, and have people vote on that for a little bit, and then whichever wins will be your next read. Next prompt worth 2 points is new to you author. Then we have a book you've been putting off, highly rated, for a reading challenge. This could be pretty simple, and you could say that anything's for your reading challenge because it could be for your Goodreads or Storygraph or yearly reading goal. But if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, and you're doing other challenges such as the 12 and 12, the 24 books to read in 2024, the color on the cover or item on the cover, there's also the alphabet challenge, any of those challenges, if it fits there, it works. And then the last prompt worth 2 points would be color wheel cover. So this is kind of the same concept as your favorite color on the cover, but just go to a color wheel, have that spin, and whatever it lands on, you need to find a book with that on the cover. Like I said, as much or as little, the goal is to have most of the cover be that color. And then the last point value would be 3 points, and for those we have host loved. Rylan and I both have 5-star reads shelves on Goodreads, so it would be easy to find what we loved. Not necessarily give 5 stars. If we gave it 4 stars but really enjoyed it, then that works. If it's a book in a series, so for example, I've read book 1 and 2 and really enjoyed it, but you've already read them and you want to go on to book 3, but I've not read book 3 yet, that still counts. So if it's in the series, it counts, but you cannot do that for authors. So if I've loved one book by one author and you want to read a different book by the same author but I've not read it yet, that does not count. So series, yes, but just the author would be a no. Next we have 500 plus pages, and then we have book club pick. Book club pick is any book club read at any given time. So if you want to read the Good Morning America book club pick from 2002, I don't know what it was, but that works. Any book club, anytime that the book was chosen, works for us. Next we have in a series, genre you don't usually read. book you regret getting. I have a couple of that, not gonna lie. And then we have feed scroll and publish in the last 5 years. So those are all the prompts. I will say feed scroll in case you're unfamiliar. I feel like the best way to do this is Bookstagram. Basically just scroll on your feed until you see a book on your TBR that you already own, which would be the main goal, or a book that you want to read that you can get your hands on. The ebook would work. If you're not necessarily a part of Bookstagram, or you don't have like a book specific account, you could still go on the Bookstagram hashtag and scroll that way until you find a book. But I know there's also like Twitter story graph. You could also do that, see what people are reading, and if one of those are on your TBR, anything like that. So scrolling through any sort of social media feed would be what that prompt is for. All right, so those are all the prompts, and now I'm going to kind of chat a little bit about frequently asked questions. So like I mentioned, any ebook will count. Does not necessarily need to be Kindle. I will mention again, this is a 2-week long readathon. It runs from December 1st to December 14th. Your team will be determined randomly if you don't have a preference, and that you will learn through Discord. Usually Discord is the easiest way to do this. And then, does a DNF or book from last month count? Yes, only if you've read over 50% in this month. So if you're at a book, theoretically you start a book on the last day of November and you get to like 20% and you read the last 80 on December 1st, that counts. If you start a book and you want to DNF it, you do have to at least hit 50%, and then you can count it for that prompt. If you run into a prompt that you cannot complete for any reason, if you have absolutely 0 options for getting through this prompt, this is pretty much the honor system. We would like to hope that everyone is all honest, but using this honor system, we're kind of just going to trust that you guys follow this rule, and the rule is that you get 1 skip per week. So if you run into a prompt that you absolutely feel like you cannot complete, then you can skip it, but for the rest of the week you cannot do that. So since the readathon is 2 weeks, you basically get 2 skips that you are able to use. Another question I'm anticipating getting is, can you create a TBR? So can you roll your dice ahead of time? Yeah, you can. If you would like to anticipate reading 5 books within the 2 weeks, you can roll your dice and create a TBR ahead of time, or you can roll as you go, which is typically what I do. I usually roll the die and then I get my prompt, finish that book, and then roll again. So you could roll early and pick out your books already, or you could roll as you go. I know Rylan and I are both hoping and planning to do some live sprints, so definitely stick around on the Discord for more information on that. But I think that's it. I'm very, very excited. I've missed back to Kindle. I read primarily ebooks now, so it's always such a fun time, and I feel like the game board aspect just kind of keeps you on your toes because you don't know what your next prompt is going to be. But I'm very excited. I hope you guys all enjoy the board as much as we've enjoyed creating it. I slightly mentioned it earlier, but every single thing that I've talked about or that I've mentioned will be linked down below in a Google Drive. So that will include our Back to Kindle board, the what you need / how to play graphics, frequently asked questions, and how the point system is working, along with the submission forms for both Team Rylan and Team Stasia. Those will also be in your Discord chats, so if you want to bookmark it, you can, but those will be available outside of the Google Drive, as well as the submission will be in the Google folder. I will down below have the Google folder, but I'll also have the actual registration sheet and our Discord, so you can follow us along there, and sign up is open now. We'll probably, I think we're anticipating giving you guys at least 3 weeks, like announcing this 3 weeks before December. So I think I'll probably close the registration at the end of the day on December 1st, just so that we don't have too many like popping in and out. So all of the information will be linked down below, as well as Ryland's video in case she has explained things a different way or she has said something better in better words. Her video will also be linked down below. I encourage you watch it as well. But I think that's it. That is it for our round 6 of Back to Kindle readathon announcement. I'm excited. I can't wait to be back in the community. It's been a little bit, but I'm so excited to be back with this readathon. We've definitely worked hard. Things have been in the work for a little bit, but we're here and we're back and we're ready and we're excited. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. Let me know if you are joining us in this readathon. We're not super strict. It's just a little friendly competition. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us. But if you have any other questions that I did not answer, feel free to leave them down below and I'll get back to you. But that is it from me for today. So I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.